My mother gave my room to my brother's family and ordered me to leave the house before sunset. I walked away with only one suitcase and never mentioned the property trust. At 5 a.m. my father called me crying. The locks have been changed, the accounts are frozen, and your brother is asking what you did. You will leave this house before sunset today. My mother, Karen, said those words while standing in the middle of the kitchen. She had a coffee cup in her hand and there was no hesitation on her face. I looked at her. What? She repeated. You heard me, Emma. Your room is for your brother and his family now. The glass of water in my hand stopped halfway to my mouth. Pie room. My brother David's wife, Sarah, was sitting on the couch. Their 6-month-old son was in her arms. She was quiet, but there was a certain confidence on her face. The kind of confidence someone has when they know the decision has already been made. My father, Robert, stood near the window. He didn't even look at me. Emma, this is better for everyone. I laughed. For everyone? Or just for David? My mother placed her cup on the table. You're 35 years old. You can build your own life. David has a wife and a baby. He needs the space. I looked around the room. This was the same house I had lived in for 20 years. The same walls. The same stairs. The same bedroom where my books, pictures, and personal things were kept. And my mother was talking like I was a guest. Why didn't you tell me before? David quietly said. Emma, Mom isn't wrong. I looked at him. You too. He looked away. It's just a room. I answered. No, David. It's never just a room. My mother held out a bag toward me. We packed some of your things. I didn't take it. You packed my stuff? She stayed silent. That answer was enough. My name is Emma Wilson. I am 35 years old and I live in Nashville, Tennessee. At least until that day I believed this was my home. My brother David. 38 years old. The favorite child in the family. When he made mistakes, everyone said, he's trying. When I made mistakes, they said, you should know better. My mother Karen. 60 years old. To her, the image of a perfect family mattered more than reality. My father Robert. 63 years old. A kind man but always the one who stayed quiet. Me. I was the daughter who was always told to be the mature one. Most of the time that meant staying silent. I picked up the bag. My mother looked surprised. That's it. I said. You told me to leave. So I'm leaving. David immediately said. Emma, don't be angry. I looked at him. Angry? You're taking my room and I'm not supposed to be angry? Sarah spoke for the first time. We didn't kick you out. I looked at her. Really? Then what do you call this? Nobody answered. I went upstairs. I took my suitcase. I packed only what I needed. A few clothes. My laptop. The old watch my father had given me. And a few pictures. I looked around my room one last time. Then I closed the door. I knew they thought I would come back. They were wrong. If you're wondering why I didn't fight back that day, stay until the end. Because the house they forced me to leave with only one suitcase was hiding a truth that would change everything. That night I went to my friend Jennifer's house. She was waiting for me. The moment I walked inside she asked, did they really make you leave? I just nodded. She stayed quiet for a moment. Then she said, Emma, you know this isn't normal, right? I sat down on the couch. In my family it is. Jennifer looked at me. No. You just got used to it. Her words stayed in my mind. The next morning at exactly 5 a.m. my phone rang. I looked at the screen. It was my father. I answered immediately. Dad. His voice was shaking. Emma, what did you do? I sat up. What do you mean? He said, the locks have been changed. I went silent. What? The bank accounts are frozen. David keeps calling me. He's asking what you did. I closed my eyes. I didn't do anything. My father lowered his voice. Then how did this happen? I didn't answer. Because I didn't know either. A few hours later my father came to see me. He was holding an old file. This belonged to your grandfather. I looked at the file. Grandpa. He nodded. I didn't know when to open it. I opened the file. Inside were property trust documents. My eyes stopped on the first page. This house wasn't just in my father's name. It was under a family trust. And the main beneficiary of that trust was me. What? My father said. Your grandfather left the house and several accounts in your name. I turned the pages. Why was I never told? My father became quiet. Then he said, because your mother said you weren't ready. I looked at him. Dad, I'm 35 years old. He lowered his eyes. I know. That was when I understood. This was never just about a bedroom. This had been happening for years. My family had hidden my rights from me. I met with the trust attorney, Mr. Harris. He reviewed all the documents. Then he said, Emma, your family made a serious mistake. I asked, what mistake? He answered, they thought they had control. 2 days later I went back to the house. The locks really had been changed. I knocked on the door. David opened it. He looked shocked. Emma. I said, we need to talk. He replied, now isn't a good time. I smiled. You have no idea what a good time is. My mother was sitting inside. The moment she saw me, she said, why are you back? I answered, to see my house. She laughed. This is David's house now. I placed the file on the table. No. Everyone went silent. David picked up the file. His face changed. What is this? I said, the thing you all hid from me. My mother stood up. Emma, you don't understand. I looked at her. No, Mom. Now I understand everything. The attorney had explained the trust conditions clearly. The house could not be sold. It could not be transferred. And no beneficiary could be removed from their rights. David became angry. So you're going to throw us out? I looked at him. That's the same question you all asked me. He became quiet. Within a few weeks everything changed. The accounts were restored. The locks were changed again. But this time they were changed under my name. My mother called me several times. We did this for the family. I answered, no. You did it for David. My father called me one day. Please forgive me. I looked at the phone for a long time. Then I said, I'll try. But staying silent was also a choice. David and Sarah eventually moved into their own place. My mother still calls sometimes. But her voice is different now. She doesn't give orders anymore. Today I live in that same house. In that same room. But that room is no longer just a place. It is a reminder that sometimes people try to remove you from your own life because they believe you have no power. They just don't realize that a quiet person usually has a truth waiting somewhere. And my truth didn't leave in a suitcase. It was protected in documents with my name on them. If this story connected with you, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe for more powerful and emotional stories. Thank you so much for spending your time with us today. Your support means everything and helps us continue sharing stories about courage, truth, and people finding their strength when they need it the most.